Hello, my name is Namuno Kevin, and I've been living with epilepsy for 4 years now. Um, I have a somewhat different experience. I've watched a lot of different experience on Misunderstood and on other platforms as well. And I also wanted to come out and share my different experience, and I hope that it will maybe um, inspire or give hope to someone out there who might also be living with epilepsy in silence. So I'll talk about my first experience, my first seizure, which happened in December 2020. I was working on an event. I was planning an event, and it's a kind of work that needs you to be 100% focused, and it also comes with a lot of stress. So I think I was stressed at that time because of what I was doing, because of what I was working towards. And I had this day which was a very busy day, and I actually forgot to eat lunch. And also in the evening, I had a few errands to run. I wanted to go book a ticket for a trip home that I was planning for later. It was around Christmas time, so I wanted to get the ticket early before the buses were booked out. So walking from because the office was in Valley Road, around Sitam, around that area, from Valley Road to Railways, I was going to book an easy coach, and then also from Railways to around Koja, where I normally board my matatu. And then as I was heading home, I was supposed to meet a friend of mine who lives around the same area. And as I was waiting for him, it was around 7 p.m. 7 p.m.ish, 7:30, because I remember it was dark. As I was waiting for him, because he told me he'll be there in like 2 to 5 minutes. As I was waiting for him, it just happened. To me, it was like instant. It happened. I was standing on the road. I was waiting for him, and then the next thing, I'm in a car. I'm in the back seat, and I'm being taken to hospital. And my friend was there, so I'm asking him what has happened. So from his perspective, as he was coming to meet me, he noticed that there was a crowd of people around some area. So he went to check what's happening, and then he found out that it was me who was there, and I had gotten a seizure. So from my perspective, I thought that because he told me that I had fainted, and that's what I knew. I knew that I had fainted, but later on, I came later to discover that I had not fainted. So this is how I got this car. I fell on a piece of rock, and I remember as I was being taken to hospital, I was bleeding. So at the hospital, the doctor didn't ask me about why I had fainted or if I had gotten a seizure. They just treated this and gave me meds for this, and I went home. So I thought that's something that won't ever happen again. Until later that year, I think it was some period between 25th and 31st and first. You know that time when you don't know which day it is, you don't know what you do with your life, and you're just at home. Maybe you're relaxing, you are up country or in Nairobi. Just there's no much stress at that time. And I remember I had gone to visit my grandmother, and then it happened again. I was seated at the living room, and then the next minute I'm waking up. But this time I was in a kind of a sofa just like this one. So I didn't injure myself. So then that's now then when my aunt who I believe had who knew what was happening and said that this was now a seizure, advised me to go and visit a neurologist. So that's when I knew that I had developed epilepsy. I had not had these situations before in my life, and I had never fainted. I had never lost consciousness for whatever reason, and I've been a comrade in Kenya, and a comrade in Kenya, you can even stay for a period of time without eating proper meals, but I had never fainted. So I did my tests. I did my MRI and my EEG, and the MRI it showed nothing of to be worried of. But from the EEG, my then neuro actually visited him once, said that you are epileptic. So asked him, so maybe why is it? Because I told him the both situations of when I got my seizure and then now. So that's when he told me that there are cases of epilepsy that way you can get seizures without necessarily any trigger. So then he prescribed anticonvulsants. At that time, I didn't have much knowledge about epilepsy. I didn't know much. I just knew that there are people who get seizures at some point, and there are people here who live with epilepsy. But I didn't know if there was treatment, if just the medicine part of it. I didn't know how to handle it. So after I got the meds, I remember I took them for a month, and then because normally you know that if I get malaria, I go to the hospital, I'm given this medicine, I'm given these drugs, I'm given this injection, and then after a few days I'll be okay. So I thought after I'm done with this dosage, then I'd be okay. So I was done with that dosage, and then I relaxed again. And actually I thought and I believe that I was okay, because it took, I think, a couple of months. It took like 6 to 7 months before I got my next seizure, which was, there was an interview I was doing. It was part of my job, and just behind the set, and while we were chatting with my colleagues and the person I was interviewing, then I woke up again. It's just that's my experience. That's something that I think it makes it different for me, because I don't have any trigger. I can't say that maybe I was like the people who have photosensitive epilepsy. Maybe I was in a movie theater, or I was in a disco somewhere, or just an event with disco lights. There's no trigger. I can be right now here doing the interview, and then to me, I just wake up. But to the people who are around me during that time, as I have come to notice with this pattern, it's normally very scary for them. And when you come out, and I normally have this period between after I've gotten my seizure and coming back to senses, where I'm just looking at people. This is what I'm told. I don't remember. I'm just looking at you, and you're talking to me. I'm looking at you, but I can't respond. So it normally takes time. So once I'm back to my senses, because it's normally like just like a millisecond. Right now, I don't, how do I put it? I don't think much about what happened. I don't take it as such big of a deal, because I didn't feel it, I didn't experience it. From my mind, I didn't experience it, but people around me were scared. For instance, when I was at home and it happened, I remember people. I was told that I caused quite a scene, and people were really scared, and some people were starting to, you know, my grandmother was there, starting to talk about, hey, why are you taking my kid away from me? And it was just a seizure. And I came back and I was asking her, hey, what's wrong? And then she told me, don't ever scare me like that again. So that's something that I think makes it different, because in a normal person's eyes, if I interact with you anywhere, anytime, you'll just see this is just a normal guy. This is just someone who this is just a normal guy. But then again, if that happens and I'm talking to you and you didn't know that maybe I might be epileptic, this is something that it will come as a scare to many people. It comes as a scare. So when I learned that I will be taking these medicines, these drugs for the rest of my life, was also something that I would say it was difficult to take, because I remember when I was given the first prescription, and I tried looking for these anticonvulsant meds, and they were really difficult to find. And when I found them at this specific pharmacy, they were expensive. So I bought them because I knew it was just once. But then when I went back, and then I was told that I have to keep on taking these meds over and over again, then it's something that was difficult to take, because now I'll have to spend this amount of money every month. And yeah, but I thought about it, and yeah, I think I've come to accept the situation. And when you have more needs, when you need more money, for you also find a way to make this money. And it's also something that has motivated me in my job and in all my different side hustles that I do here and there. Yeah, so that's the thing that has really, I'll say, in my epilepsy journey, it was discovering that I'll take these meds for the rest of my life, and that they're expensive, and also the fact that I do not know when I can get a seizure again. But so far so good. As long as I'm on my meds, I think I'm okay. I've never gotten a seizure when I'm on medication. Uh, yeah, I've been seizure free for over a year, I think, right now, over a year. So yeah, that's my story. I live with epilepsy, which I don't know the cause and I don't know the triggers, but I'm comfortable, and I'm soldiering through. I can say I'm an epilepsy warrior right now.